Thanks for staying with us. We're starting with the nation. NCDC confirms 15 monkeypox cases. Electricity workers set to battle TCN. Osun Osiek chairman alleges threat to life. Commercial activities pick up in Southeast. 19.64% inflation rate, highest ever in 17 years, says NBS. Are you to Wike? Others. I have no plan to quit PDP chair now. Federal government not sincere about ending strike, says ASU. Yobe North senatorial ticket. Court adjourns Machina's suit against Lawan. What stories do we have in the nation?
I'll take the major headline.
Okay.
So the peace talks between the presidential candidates of PDP and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, they said yesterday may have suffered a setback. According to the report, both teams were supposed to meet and have a conversation in Rivers State yesterday, but the Atiku team didn't show up for that meeting. And it was explained that he had to attend an event in Yola in Adamawa State. But the Rivers State team, the Wike's team, said they were not even given prior notice of their absence, nothing. And that for them, this just shows that they have no, they're not committed really to solving the issues, you know, between them. So the chairman of the party, you know, one of the conditions they said that Wike had given that he would support the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar is if the chairman were to resign. The chairman says, let me tell you, I have been given the mandate to do 4 years. Wow. And I'll make sure I do my 4 years. I have no plans of resigning anytime soon. And they said that Wike is basing his asking for his resignation because it was a prior arrangement that they had, that if the presidential candidate should eventually emerge from the north, then Mr. Ayu was supposed to have resigned. But that's not happening anytime soon. So it looks like, you know, there doesn't seem to be an agreement on the way forward. But, you know, these are politicians. They sort of always find a way to sort themselves out.
They will find their way.
So the National Union of Electricity Employees have decided to go on strike. They said they want to picket the Transmission Company of Nigeria. According to the General Secretary of that body, NUE, Joe Ajero, he calls this a memo signed call for action. They are going to picket the TCN because they are protesting the alleged directive of the TCM board insisting that all principal members in acting capacity aspiring to the position of assistant general managers must appear for promotion interview. Yes, just so that just because they say you people should show up for your promotional interview, they are going to picket the TCN over that. I don't see the logic in it. You're in a business or you're in an employment, it's okay to take an exam, to be reviewed. KPIs are in some settings standards for removal or, you know, promotion of people, but then they find this as a grouse that they must protest about. Also, they listed the stigmatization of staff from the office of the head of service of the Federation from working in other areas of power sector, and their refusal of the market operators to fund the payment of entitlements of former staff of the PHCN, that's the power holding company, has agreed in 2019. That is a ground that I understand, because some of these staff are still left without their entitlement. I think that they deserve what they ever worked for. But for the promotional interview,
an assessment for you to reject it, I think they are just a bit too small. If you're working in a private organization, these are some of the things that you do to move on to the next level.
It's an abuse of your
exam, it's a form of assessment. You have your KPIs that you're supposed to be meeting. But once it comes to government, everybody, they just want to be removed. Just go.
We just might be suffering darkness for that reason.
Going, and can you imagine that? Yeah. Yes. I agree with you. So let me take the ASU case. So according to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, they are saying that the government has not been sincere with negotiations. They said with almost their 6-month strike, they've been going back and forth. There are several committees that they have, you know, set up. There was a committee that was set up before this NIMI BRICS committee, and they will come up with their recommendations, and the government does not follow through. Now, government is making it seem as if wants to sort of blackmail them with salary, that their grouse is not just the salary. and they are going to fight this matter to the end because it's something that is it's a sacrifice they are willing to make right now so that the university system of the country does not collapse. So government needs to stand up and tell us where their priorities lie. Government has to do something about it. They are also asking for to be allowed to be autonomous, saying that all over the world, universities are autonomous. They are not under the civil service of any country. Government needs to do something about this. Our children, our students, I call them children, have been at home. Let's move on to the Punch. Power Intervention Fund jumps to 2.9 trillion. Lassa fever, 165 killed. Awareness call rises. Federal government, ASU, meet today. Strike enters 183 days. Running mate, Wike accuses Rivers elders of gang up. Federal government warned against acute hunger Sierra Leonean crisis. Inflation hits 17-year all-time high. Nigerians to pay more for consumables. Nigeria going Zimbabwean way. Nobody's doing anything. DG NAC. Politicians concerned about 2023 elections not dying economy, according to experts. Amoteku trains Ondo recruits, vows to tackle criminals. Police kill 5 kidnappers. Abducted Redeemer student escapes. Man dies in motel after meeting online lover. End killings of innocent Nigerians. Afenifere tells Buhari. What do we have in the Punch?
So I have 2 stories. Let me quickly take the power intervention. So, according to the director of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, he said there's a fresh approval of 2.3 billion euro loan for the transmission and distribution arm of the electricity sector. And because of that new intervention, there's the entire fund, since 2013 that they privatized the discos, they've intervened, the federal government's intervention fund to them has gone from 2 trillion to 2.9 trillion because of this new intervention now. And that, prior to that, there was a World Bank loan of 500 million, several breakdowns of all the interventions they've so far received. And the same sector, workers, think that it's okay to shut us into darkness for a strike. I just wanted to...
So I've got police kill 5 kidnappers and an abductee Redeemer student escape. So first of all, here we got the report from the Edo State Police Command said that on Monday they were able to apprehend and kill in a gun duel 5 kidnappers. They said that because of the information and intelligence that the police command got, they were able to find this group of kidnappers that were operating in the Ugoshi Afebush Ibilo in the Akoko Edo local government area of the state. And when they got there, as I said, a gun duel, 5 of the kidnappers were killed. And the victim that they had kidnapped, his name is Mr. Innocent Achebe, a 38-year-old man, was rescued unhurt and has since reunited with his family. Fantastic news. Well done to the police in Edo State. In Ogun State, they said on Monday, a 17-year-old who was kidnapped. His name is Oluwatomiwa Akinlaja. He is a student of Redeemers University in Osun State. He was supposed to go meet his family at the Redeem camp for the just concluded convention. And on his way there, he was abducted. Intelligence helped police. They went there, and while they got there, they said he escaped when the police arrived. And so he also has since been reunited with his family. Thank God. Fantastic. In Oyo State, they said that this man, I don't know, he wrote to a school. He wrote a letter to a private university in Oyo town and told the management that he plans to abduct 3 students from the institution. Wow. And unless 10 million naira was given to him, he would carry on with, with the plan. And also had written to a bank in the community that he was coming to attack them. The police said with investigation, they found him. So at first when I read it, I said, this will be someone who is not really, okay up there. But the police say that there's actually a syndicate that because they are so emboldened by their successes and just their greed, that now what they do is they write a letter ahead of time because they feel that they will get away with whatever it is they do. And then they get ransom paid even before they do anything. But luckily, in this case, they were able to find this person and curb the threat. So it's also good to hear the stories of the successes of our policemen. Yeah. And well done in this regard.
Well done to our policemen. They're trying. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still reviewing The Punch. I have a human interest story here. So a 55-year-old man, Abdulwaheed Lamidi, lost his life while lodging with his girlfriend at the City International Motel council bus stop in Ikotun area of Lagos State. So his lover, a 32-year-old, they met online and then they decided to meet up to hang out in the hotel. So she came in from another state Saturday. By Sunday morning, she ran out of the hotel room screaming that something has happened to the man. So apparently while he was standing up to head to the bathroom, he slumped. And they were able to call a doctor just around the hotel. The doctor came and certified him dead. So they've taken him to the mortuary. The woman has been arrested. The police is saying that they are going to carry out further investigation. However, the family of the man are saying they don't want any case. They just want the corpse to be released to them, that they have no case against.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, I was asking earlier, so why do we have these sort of stories on the front page of it? Why is it important so if it was not foul play? I mean,
so the major headline, the Statistician General of the Federation and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Bureau of Statistics, Prince Semiu Adeniran, has released our Consumer Price Index, and it says that the Consumer Price Index for July 2022 has put our inflation rate at 19.64%, which shows an increase from the 18.60% of June. And this has put us at our highest inflation rate in recent years, in 17 years. Wow. And he also used this opportunity to warn against acute hunger. And a lot of economists are reacting to this. I wanted to quote someone who said that this shows that we are, this is inevitable because we are not a producing nation. The Association of Registered Freight Forwarders of Nigeria, Frank Uko, the founder of that association, says, this is inevitable. We are not a producing nation. We are constantly consuming. There's no way of getting out of this. Something drastic has to be done now. We're heading the way of Zimbabwe. Wow. And in the same report, they took the story of what is happening right now in Sierra Leone, warning us we should balance things. You know, we should try to find a solution. When I mean balance things, we should start producing as quickly as possible. We must deliberately stop this, consuming mentality, especially of foreign.
We need electricity.
We need electricity to produce. So the matter is just...
It's a lot of things.
Are you taking another story?
No, just to say that Lassa fever, the numbers given by NCDC, has said that the numbers have increased of those who have died from Lassa fever to 165. And just stakeholders are saying that we need to ensure that for all of us here in Nigeria, we make sure we cover the food that we eat properly. And then, government has to do a better job in sensitizing Nigerians, especially at the grassroots, the measures that they need to take for their hygiene, wash your hands, and just the normal, regular things, cook your food properly, cover it properly, just so that,
avoid Lassa fever. Okay, moving on to the Daily Sun. Federal government disrespecting UN by keeping Kanu in detention, Igbo youths. Naseni trains 3,700 youths on modern farming. IU calls Wike's bluff. We've taken that. NCDC confirms additional 13 new cases of Lassa fever. Taking that. INEC begins display of voters register in Oyo, Lagos. Nationwide blackout looms as electricity workers shut down services Wednesday. Osun holds local government poll October 15th. Ohaneze applauds Obiozo at 80, hails him as a man of uncommon intellect. Anambra establishes a family court to tackle domestic violence. What do we have in the Sun?
Anambra State. So the Commissioner for Women Affairs in the state, Mrs. Ife Obinabo, disclosed this during what they call a Leadership of United Businesswomen and Farmers Association visit. And she just said that given some of the backstory about domestic violence and a recent story where a member of government had been accused or alleged to have led to the death of his wife due to domestic violence, has was the one that sort of instigated or encouraged Anambra State to set up what they call a family court to tackle various issues related to domestic violence in the state, and really to also help address some of these issues before they degenerate into the loss of lives and property. The visiting group has also said they also are approached by many people from the state to help them deal with domestic issues, and they would like government support to help them so that they can further give that sort of help to the state. I'm happy that we understand the need for courts like this.
Yeah.
They will quickly address issues. You will not leave it waiting, you know, and
lingering for a very long time.
For a while. So this is good.
Okay, who has the Naseni trains? 3,700 youths. Modern farming. We didn't take that. Okay, let's move on quickly to the Vanguard. PDP, Atiku holds rally in Yola. Wike's allies meet in Port Harcourt. Police, custom officers clearing agents buy Colorado tramadol from us. Drug peddlers allege. Wow. Millions of Nigerians taken out of poverty through works and housing ministry. Fashala. Worsening insecurity. Nigerians living in fear and uncertainty. Afenifere. Victor Waifo's family disowns remembrance program. Alleges forgery of will. Wow. Blackout looms as electricity workers begin strike tomorrow, picket TCN today. 2023 is time for Southern presidents, says Akeredolu. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
CEO, police customs officers, others buy Colorado tramadol from us, drug peddlers allege. So the Vanguard did this investigation. They had a reporter go in and, you know, the report is that the Lagos ports of Apapa and the Tinkan Island have become a haven for cartels and peddlers of illicit drugs in Apapa. One of the reporters had gone in, you know, to pretend to get these drugs, and he said it was quite easy. But many of them say that it's a lot of the officers, the security operatives, the clearing agents, after a hard day's work, either they come themselves or send their boys to come and buy these drugs from them. They have how much, I don't know if it's right, but it's already in the paper, how much each of the different types of drugs go for.
Wow.
You know, and it's just the rates that they go for.
Just go in and get it.
Yes, you can just walk in and get it. The government has done its part in making sure that they clear all the shanties and all these small settlements there to dissuade them. But they still find a way that a lot of them pretend to be selling proper pharmaceutical products, and they use all those carts, you know, to sell those products. But they're actually selling drugs. Oh. And the people who are meant to make sure they are not selling drugs are those that are patronizing them.
So the families of Victor Waifo are, you know, screaming out that, you know, there's an event coming up to mark their father's first year anniversary of his passing, and that event put together by his manager, who is presently in court over forgery of his will. They took him to court to, you know, over forgery of their father's will. And that he's putting, his name is Chris Eburu, his former manager, that he put together this event alongside some people they know nothing about, and that all of his children, out of his 12 children, 8 of them don't know a thing about this. And even though he's coming up abroad, they have some of his children abroad who are also not a party to it. They say that, you know, the event should not be regarded. But the manager has responded that, you know, this anniversary, he said, Waifo's Revelation Tourism Palazzo Center was an association, and as an association does not need the approval of any of the children of Waifo to put together this event, and that the issue of the forgery of his will is already in court. They are alleging that the witnesses to that will are not people known to their dad. They're also saying that by their father's lifestyle, he couldn't have allowed a woman unmarried to witness his will as a Benin man and all of those other things that they say are their pointers. But we'll let the court decide based on the legal technicalities what constitutes forgery, or if not, they will.
But then about the event.
But the event, the manager says is going on with the event, and that as an association, they do not need the approval of any of his children to put together this event. I don't know how.
Would have been
who
better.
will not attend?
Maybe he's empowered.
The family members will not.
No, his fans. Of course, will attend the event if his music is...
It would have been best if there was collaboration.
So I think, yes. So this is something that can be arranged. They can settle their differences and continue to honor the memory of their dad, both manager and children. So all these issues are just...
Okay, let me leave my story because of time. Let's quickly move on to the Tribune. I have not resigned. I have 4-year mandate. Are you? That story. Experts decry Nigeria's penchant for abandoned buildings. Inflation rises to 19.64%, highest in 17 years. Police arrest 30-year-old over attempt to abduct 3 university students in Oyo. Cooking gas price rises by over 100% year-on-year. Electricity workers set for strike tomorrow. Naseni deploys technologies to train 3,700 youths in modern farming. So what stories do we have in the Tribune?
No.
You don't have any stories in the Tribune? Okay, so I took the cooking gas story. Let me quickly get it. So, according to the story, it said the price of household, according to the story and also what we are experiencing as Nigerians, we are the ones buying the gas, we understand. It said the cooking gas, known as liquefied petroleum, rose by over 100% year-on-year. That's the latest reports from the NBS. So on a month-on-month basis, the average retail price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas, according to the reports, increased by 7.57%. June 2022, we had it, so it kept moving from 3,900, it moved to 4,200, then it moved to, I think, 4,650. And right now, some people are buying in different places 9,005. I bought last week for 9,005. Now, the issue here is that they are saying that while everybody is complaining because of the Russia-Ukraine war and is affecting them, Nigerians should not be a part of the people complaining. Those people is really hitting are those who do not even have crude oil because they are constantly importing and it's very expensive now. But we have crude oil. We shouldn't be among the countries who are complaining. And what they are advising now is that we need to revamp our refineries. As a matter of fact, they should declare a state of emergency on the refineries, ensure that we begin to revamp them, and also make plans to build a state-of-the-art new refineries to help us so that we don't continue to have this sort of issues where everybody's crying, and even the people that own the natural resources are crying as well. I just hope that something can be done about this. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.